Daktari, take it up.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nagilai, for this. Thank you for the early birds like Masi Sifa. Thank you, Suki. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Dutamaina. Who else can I see here on my screen? Annabelle, karibu sana. Annabelle Gishule, asante sana. Bete Gasheri. Yeah, let's hear your voices. Let me have 3 people who can say hi to us and tell us how you have been, and then I'll go straight to my discussion this morning. Problem-solving skills, that's the topic tonight or this morning. Problem-solving skills, building trust with customers and stakeholders. You can just, the first 3 to raise their hands, you just tell us, you know, how you have been. And on the chat line, you can also tell us the problem that you are sorting out. Okay, the first 3. Let me see so that I can see the hands. Okay. Okay, Alice Gige, number 1. Let me see who is number 2. Alice Gige is number 1. Who is number 2? Yeah, visibility brings credibility. Credibility brings visibility. Alice is number 1. Who is number 2? Number 2 is who? There's somebody here. I can see a hand here. Number 2 is Pius Silky, asante sana. And number 3 is Karen Oroni. In that order. Alice?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Alice.
Alice, your internet is playing guitar.
So we empower your people to be all. Now play guitar.
And now you're good. Go ahead, Alice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
So I was saying that I run a company called Alisa Coaching. And at Alisa Coaching, we work with the most important asset in the organization, the people. We empower them so that they can be the most, they can work at full potential. We are trainers in the area of leadership and sales. And the problem that I'm trying to solve now is to ensure that we have very qualified, motivated salespeople. And I'm working with sales colleges that train sales and marketing people so that we can give them practical experience so that when they come to Optiven, they have a bit of experience. So we want to make sure that the sales people are working and getting to help the organizations generate sales consistently. Back to you. Thank you.
Wow, that's very encouraging. That's nice. I think I should be seeing you soon. Okay, thank you, Alice. Karen.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Karen Oroni, and I am the lead at Aleph Marketing, and we operate in the advertising space. We offer visibility solutions through visual communication, that is in signs, in displays, in branding solution to enhance business presence in the marketplace. And this includes company signs, directional signs, pylons, safety signs, and branding also of office spaces, vehicles, walls, as well as warehouses and factories. We also do fabrication of steel, wood, and plastic for point of sale material and in-store for shops and branding of events and even parking places. I really appreciate being here, and I hope to be enlightened.
Fantastic, remarkable. Thank you very much for the good work you are doing to build Africa. Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Pius, Tuki.
Thank you very much, Dr. George, for this opportunity. My name is Suki. I'm in the business of selling fresh organic meat, precisely beef. I am glad with this mentorship session that is ongoing. I am really learning a lot, and I'm going to apply the nuggets I'm going to get from this mentorship to be able to make my business better and thrive. Thank you very much once again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you. I think that is the representation of the 45 of us in this class. And that's, yes, today, this evening is the lesson number 8, problem-solving skills, building trust with customers and other stakeholders. You know, and when I was looking at this topic, problem-solving skills, I remembered a story, a story of an eagle. You know, when an eagle is very active at age 18, 20, 25, 30, you know, the eagle can go anywhere, you know, it can soar above the clouds. And when it is at age 40, problems arises, you know. And one of the challenges is the beak becomes a real problem, plus the feathers. And then this bird retreats, goes on top of the mountain, looking for a solution, you know, to solve a certain solution. And one of the things it does is to work on the beak, you know, it hits the stone until the old beak is out. Then it also discovers the feathers are also heavy, you know, and it starts the process of removing those heavy feathers. After this very painful exercise, the eagle becomes new again, you know, the eagle becomes new again. And when I was starting this story, I was asking myself, I think it's an echo. Nagilai, I hear an echo. Can you hear me well as I tell the story? Nagilai, I can hear an echo. Okay, I think it's okay now. So when this bird is rejuvenating itself to sort out an issue, you know, it renews itself. After 40, it lives another 40 years. And the same case with us in business, in career, in entrepreneurship. Many a times we need to renew ourselves by sharpening our problem-solving skills, especially to our customers, to our business. And the other day I was, checking on a television, on social media, on how people have been trying to solve some problems that they're encountering. And I saw this lady whose supermarket was invaded by some people, and things were stolen. And one of the things she did, and I think it's one of either the friend or a husband, I don't know. I saw a man, you know, taking up a very big, make a big announcement and says, I've given you 14 days to return everything that you stole from my shop, you know. And funny enough, today I was seeing some stories. People are returning things. Maybe this is the way of sorting out her problem, you know. And I don't know how she's doing it, but I have seen today a lot of people returning unga, returning all things that were stolen. Ask yourself, how are you able to sort out some of these challenges? And which are these challenges that basically, as a career person, as a business person, as a consultant, you face on daily basis? Somebody is telling me that I think I heard a story that if you don't return, you are guided, you are attacked by bees in that county supermarket. I don't know how true it is, but you can check it out. But let's ask ourselves this evening, what are some of these issues that we want to sort? You know, what are these problems that we encounter on day-to-day basis, especially those people who are in business like George Washori here and Alice Gigi and Eric Obuaka and all these Babula or Malembe, you know, all these, whether you're in career or in business. Some of the challenges that currently many businesses are looking at is basically managing cash flows, you know, cash flow challenges. You know, given that if you are supplying county government, they are not paying, how are you managing this problem of cash flow management? Other people are facing challenges of managing your finances, you know, putting up your financial in a good state that you can be able to borrow from the owners of capital. Other people are facing challenges of managing people management challenges. Yeah, managing people is not easy. Managing people is an art. It's not easy. Others is managing systems, the systems you are using to do your business. Tax challenges. How do you balance your taxes? How are you managing your taxes? You know, political challenges. I think these are the challenges that the majority of us have faced in the past couple of months. Economic challenges. how can you sort out all these challenges? Legal challenges. Maybe you fired a person and sued you, And environmental challenges. The other day we had the issues of floods, that affected a lot of businesses. But how do you solve all these challenges? I will share with you some of the things that I personally do for the last 26 years on sorting out these day-to-day issues, problem-solving skills. I'll share with you some of those skills that you can practice and they'll work for you. One of the things that I recommend is, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, as a worker, you must employ what I call creativity, okay? Generating of new ideas, creativity. Thinking away from the box, or you throw away the box, thinking outside the box, or what I call being different. Yeah, you can be different. I remember sometimes back, we opened a restaurant in the waterfront, and it was a franchise. This restaurant was called Panarottis, and we really tried to market this restaurant. And every month, month in, month out, we were incurring losses. Not 1 month, not 2 months, 3 years. And at some point, we said, we better close this thing. We better close it. But it was very painful, like that ego, that when we close, we lose a lot of capital because we had overinvested. Then we said, why can't we think of something different? We come up with an African theme, okay? We transformed this restaurant to be an African restaurant. And that's what we did. And we called it GMC Karen Waterfront. And let me tell you, the first 1 month, we were able to pay our employees, we were able to pay rent, and the investor had something small. Now, we're almost 3 years down the line, and we have no regret. Why? We employed creativity. Sometimes we lose opportunities because we give up in the middle. Maybe your business, your career, you need to tweak just a little bit. Maybe Barbara, you only need to tweak a little bit, and there will be MIP, money in the pocket. And somebody said that the worst enemy of creativity is self-doubt. The worst enemy of creativity is self-doubt. There's a gentleman who is called, there's a lady who called Sylvia who said that. The worst enemy of creativity is self-doubt. Sometimes we miss opportunities because we don't want to be creative. We don't want to change things. Where we keep our cups in the kitchen, that's the position of that cup every other day. Sometimes go to tweak, to change it, be creative. You never know. You can be creative and you open a channel of resources. How do we develop these problem-solving skills? Number 2, decision-making skills. Decision-making skills, making the right decisions, okay? Once you make those decisions, sometimes you can audit those decisions, because sometimes you make decisions that are wrong, sometimes you make decisions that are right, and I'm sure most of you, I see here, Bete Gasheri, I'm sure you have made decisions and you have regretted. Sometimes you made decisions, Anastasia Kamau, and you are happy with those decisions. But it is said, every single person, you must make decisions. One of the things that I do personally is that, and I would like to encourage you, you can do some kind of a core team. Bias, if you have a team, you can do a core team whereby you run your decisions. Before you implement it, you put it there. A core team. Pius Sioki core team, put those decisions there. Let people look at them, critique them, check you out, verify those decisions. And then once you're happy, you can now roll it and implement it. And we actually do it at Optivate. Before we come up with a campaign, for example, a number of people check it out. How is the response to the customer? How is it going to be taken up? And I want to encourage all of you. You can have that core team that can be able to support you to make decisions. The same with your family. So those 2 people who are married, don't just make solo decisions. Discuss it. And once you agree with your spouse, now you can run the decision. You can act on those decisions. Of course, somebody said that life is a matter of choices. And every choice you make makes you. That means you are a product of the decisions that you make. Your organization is a product of the decisions that you make. Those who are in school, you are a product of the choices you make today. Every choice you make makes you. Sometimes I see how people waste themselves. They were supposed to make decisions when they are young. When they are old, they cannot reverse. Time is spent. The energy is spent. You have no energy. The time like now that you are vibrant, you are running your own business, you are in school, make the right decisions. And you shall harvest at the end of the road. Once you make a decision, don't look back. Stand by it. Don't keep regretting. Say, hey, I think I made the wrong decision. No, don't regret. Keep going. Remember, decisions determines your destiny. Yeah, decisions determines your destiny. The decisions you make tonight determines your tomorrow. The decisions you make tomorrow determines the day after tomorrow. The decisions you make in the year 2025 determines your destiny in 2026. Yeah, decisions determine your destiny. So let's make those decisions. Don't fear. How do you develop problem-solving skills? Number 3, be a researcher. Yeah, last time I told you, we have researchers in this platform. Be a researcher. Yeah, be a researcher. They say every person who researches a certain idea save more money. Be a researcher. And nowadays, research is easy. You know, you can do desk research. You can do online research. Whether you're hiring people, you can be able to Google people. Maybe you want to hire Alex. You just go online and then Google. Who is Alex? Okay? You can be able to research. But if you have resources, you can hire researchers. We have researchers in the house. I don't know how many researchers we have in this platform. I think I know of one. If you are a researcher, just drop there, say, hey, George, I'm a researcher. I don't know how many researchers we have in this platform. If you are a researcher, let me call you out. You can help our people when they are setting up businesses, growing their businesses. Just tell me, hey, George, I am a researcher and I'm here. Okay? Okay, I'm waiting. Just type there, I am a researcher. I will give you a shout out. Okay, let me see whether you have any researcher in the house. Yeah, you can support our people. You can help our people. And maybe that's why even in the university and colleges, people do a research paper. Why? Because they know in the future, you're going to be an entrepreneur who requires these skills. Number 4, communication. Communication. Effective communication is important. Effective communication is vital. Effective communication is extremely important for personal and professional success. Can you imagine? Effective communication is important for personal and professional success. Communication. I know most of my friends who have lost opportunities, including job opportunities, because of poor communication. I know of people who lose orders, sales, because of what? Ineffective communication. And communication you can practice. We have a lot of communicators in this forum who train and teach and mentor on communication. You can practice it, you can learn it. And they say communication eliminates toxic culture in organization. Communication eliminates toxic culture in the organization. Those who are running businesses, you must practice, train, mentor people on communication to the customers, to the stakeholders, to themselves. There are some people who speak to themselves and they kill themselves. And they say, hey, the economy is going to kill us. Yes, it will kill you. You're supposed to do things differently. Say, economy is tough, but we are tougher than the economy. The business is wobbling, but I am tougher. I am going to make it stand. Okay? Communication, ability to explain things clearly to yourself, to others, to your people. And I think there's a requirement for every leader. Every leader, you must be a good communicator. Very, very important. And somebody said, that there is only one thing for you to be a good communicator, one thing that will make you a very good communicator. And this one thing is ability to learn to listen. Yeah, you must be a listener. You must be a good listener. Be a person who listens. Number 5, problem-solving skills. Number 5, remember, we are talking about creativity. Number 2, decision-making skills. Number 3, research. Number 4, communication. Number 5, you must be an active listener. Active listener. Active listener is a person who really listens. And what happens? This helps you to get new ideas. It helps you to get new information, new ways of solving issues. It helps you to avoid pitfalls. And listening means intuition. Yeah, I remember one time we were doing a project and I refused to listen to my intuition. I could tell this person is not okay. This person could be conning me, but I did not listen carefully. And many a times we miss opportunities. Many a times we fall into pitfalls because we don't listen actively. Nowadays, I think I'm a better listener. I can easily tell somebody who wants to call me. Easily, I can tell. I can easily tell. If you find somebody praising you so much, the first day, the second day, the third day, they ask for a favor. You are going to be in trouble. You must be a very good listener to identify the troubles when they are coming. One thing I have discovered, and I have associated with very successful people, I have discovered that most of the successful people I know of, they are very good. They are better in listening than talking. These people, they are very good in listening than talking. You find a very successful person, they are very good in listening than just talking. However, there are some other people who are talk box. Yeah, they talk. You know, one time, a mentee called me for a meeting. This person wanted some mentorship. And then I said, yes, I'm going to buy coffee. Of course, we went to a restaurant and I bought coffee. Out of 45 minutes meeting, this mentee talked 44.5 minutes. Literally, the mentee talked the entire 45 minutes. We took our tea, went back home. I never shared what I wanted to share with the mentee. Let us ask ourselves, how many times do we find ourselves talking and talking and talking? Yet we know the most successful people, they are more listeners than talkers. That is something we can change. That you go for a meeting, be a listener. Listen first. You meet a customer, listen first. Don't pour everything to these people. Listen if you want to be successful. Problem-solving skills. Number 6, brainstorming. What is brainstorming? Yani, you storm the brain. Brainstorming, okay? Brainstorming is where people gather, they drop ideas, and every idea is a good idea. There's no stupid idea, no silly idea, or ideas you cannot criticize when you are brainstorming. And I remember we used to do this at Optiven. We used to meet at 6 a.m. And everybody, we tell each other, can you imagine you're the CEO of Optiven Group? What are some of the 3 things you can change, you can do? And people are putting stuff. And let me tell you, the ideas we got out of that brainstorming is just amazing. The same case with you. Even in your own family, allow your family to brainstorm what they think about the family, the things they like about the family. Brainstorming. Brainstorming brings very interesting ideas because as a group, you give them permission to pour themselves on the ideas that they do have. You give them an opportunity to think. Yes, to think. Yeah. Most of the ideas you find at Optiven, they don't come from me, by the way. They usually come from the people working with Optiven. The other day, we had an idea of mentorship plots for children. And that idea picked so well, you know, a property for a child at 139,000, plus an air ticket, plus mentorship, plus title. Can you imagine? It picked up so well. Why? Because we allowed people to think. The other day, we were discussing about another project in Mombasa. An idea of 5-star came in, more expensive than 4-star. And they said, why can't we separate this property into 4-star and 5-star? And the idea picked. We're also discussing. Somebody said, why can't we do a fountain in this property in Vipingo? We do a fountain and call it the Fountain of Happiness. And the idea was implemented. Bringing results. Ask yourself, do you give the people you are with an opportunity to share ideas through brainstorming session? Remember, ideas shape the course of history. All what you see today was an idea. This mentorship was an idea, by the way. Yet I get testimonials. People are able to do thriving businesses. It was just an idea. Everything you see, the house you are in, was somebody's idea, maybe an architect. The lights you have was somebody's idea. Yeah, somebody's idea. Ideas shape the course of history. Everything you see was an idea. Number seven, learn from others. Yes, you are not a moving dictionary. Yeah, you are not a know-it-all. We always learn from others. A mentor can learn from a mentee. A mentee can learn from a mentor. A parent can learn from a child. A child can learn from the parent. Yes, learn from others. You will never learn from a person who always agrees with you. Can you imagine? If you want to learn, you cannot learn from a person who always yes, sir, yes, sir. You know, Nagilai knows that I don't like yes, sir. I like, no, we can do it this way. No, I think can be done this way. I am very careful when I find somebody who is close to me is a yes, sir. Maybe one time I'll tell the person, go and shoot somebody on the leg, you know, and then the fellow will go and shoot somebody on the leg. No. Say, no. These legs are the ones that goes to work. This person pay taxes. The taxes help the community. Very, very important. Be careful. You'll never learn from a person who always agrees with you. Look for people who don't agree with you. That's how you learn. That's how you pick lessons. Get a different perspective. Get a different perspective. Learn from others. Get people's perspective. You learn by listening to these people. And sometimes you learn by falling over and over and over. Sometimes you learn stuff, but you mess. But out of that mess, success will come. Okay, number 8, time management. Remember, we are talking about what? Problem-solving skills. We talked about creativity, talked about decision-making skills, we talked about research, we talked about communication. Effective communication is vital for personal and professional success. We talked about active listening. And we said most of the people, successful people, they are more listeners than talkers. Then talked about brainstorming. Generating ideas from others, picking people's minds, okay? Number 7 talked about learning from others. Number 8, time management. Time management. God has given us only 24 hours. Only 24 hours. The way you manage these 24 hours will make a difference. Here in this platform, in this class, we are 58 of us. Majority of us have wasted today. If somebody asks, what have you done today? Can you account for the day? By the way, most of us will have nothing to write home about. Yet, God has given us 24 hours. Sometimes I pass through clubs, you know, in this city. there are some very popular clubs, very popular clubs. Mimi nimetoka mkutano Serena. I'm coming from Serena for a meeting at around midnight. And then I find this club is full of people. And the cars are parked everywhere, on the corridors, on the pavement, everywhere. Nice cars. Then I'm asking myself, me, I'm from a very important meeting. These people, where are they getting these hours to waste? And the fellow went there at 4. At 4. Can you imagine? The fellow went there, sat there at 4, drinking something, not water, like this one I'm drinking. Not water, they're drinking something up to midnight. I can see Pa is also drinking water. I hope it is water. I think it is water, yes. Where do they get this time? And I can tell you, they may be spending that time today, but check on them when they are 70. They'll be full of regrets, because in life, there are two pains that you must choose. There are two pains or two pain. Either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. When you go out there working so hard, it is discipline. When these guys are wasting time, later, 70 years, 80 years, they'll be full of regrets. I have many friends who are full of regrets. When we were burying ourselves in books in campus, there used to be a bar in our campus, Wakabeta campus. These guys were yelling and drinking. Today, they are struggling because they kicked away discipline. They refused the pain of discipline then when they were young. Now they are experiencing the pain of regret. Yet time is gone. You are 50, you are 60, you are 70. You can't go back. Time is spent. Time management. And I want to ask all these entrepreneurs, those who are in school, please, 24 hours, how are you managing this time? Do you have a planner? Do you plan for your day? Do you block time that nobody is distracting you or disrupting you? Do you have time to read stuff? What is your routine? What time do you wake up in the morning? What's your routine? Yeah. How are your freedoms? Do you get free time so that you rejuvenate? Do you? Time management. I leave that to you. You can be better than me. You can manage that time. Number 9, technical skills. Technical skills. For you to sort out issues, you need technical skills. DIY. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. Technical skills. You know, one time I went to the US, and you know, in Africa, labor is very cheap. In the US, labor is very expensive. So I discovered, I went to a certain hotel, and I was very hungry. So I went and bought a burger, and I enjoyed the burger. It was very sweet, and a soda. After I finished, I left my plate there and some papers. When I was walking away, I heard somebody shout, "Hey, come back, clean up your mess." Then I wondered, what mess? I did not know that in that country, you eat and wipe the table. Pick the items, take them to the waste bin, take a serviette, wipe the table nicely, leave it as you found it. I said, hey, look at this. Why? They believe in DIY. Do it yourself. And I know most of us in Africa, in Kenya, in Nairobi, wherever you are, we waste a lot of resources because we want everything to be done for ourselves. You know, the other day, I saw a friend of mine. He's now in politics. And I saw somebody wipe his shoe when he was standing. I said, wow, hey, this one. This one is another one. Yani kiatu inapanguzwa wakati amesimama. Yet, we are talking about do it yourself. Ask yourself, are there things that you can be able to do for yourself? Can you connect power? Can you connect wires? Can you connect your laptop? Can you do some problem solving within your tech space? Do it yourself. I remember the time I started Optivet. You know, it was a one-man show. And I remember very well, I was able to develop a website myself. I was going to the back, to the website, the backside, update and upload. I think I've forgotten. So when you are doing some work for yourself, especially for startups, learn to do things for yourself. Do it yourself. Develop some technical skills, troubleshooting, so that you don't pay on everything that somebody does for you. Number 10, identify problems. You cannot sort out issues you don't know. Identify problems. Identify problems. You cannot solve issues you are not aware of. You need to identify these problems. This will going to help you. This is going to help you to be a better person. Identify problems. How can you do that? By observation. How can you do that? Asking questions. How can you do that? By listening. That's how to identify problems in your organization. Many times, we discover problems when they have already eaten up our spinal cord. Have you ever asked yourself, why do we go for a medical checkup? And by the way, if you are here, every 6 months, go for a medical checkup. The reason why we go for a medical checkup is to identify probable or possible issues with our body. The same case with our organization. Do you have a formula to identify possible problems? One of the things that I recommend, especially for medium-sized companies, is internal audit. Internal audit will help you to tell you what or which things are not going okay. And then external audit. They're going to help you to manage risks. Okay? You may say it is expensive. No. You might identify something that will save you millions. Okay? And I'm talking from experience. Identify these problems as early. When you're doing the interviews for your teams, if you find you have interviewed somebody and in your intuition, you're not so sure, you are 50-50, don't pick that person. By the way, for me, every time I do interviews, the other day we were interviewing for customer service officers. And every time I've picked somebody that I had some doubts, maybe 50% doubts, that person doesn't do well. There's always something. So even as you strive to identify problems, listen to the inner voice. If you want to undertake a project and there's an inner voice telling you, hey, this project, there's something, don't take it, drop it, drop it. Those who are young, because I can see there are some younger people here who are not yet married. If you go out there and find a girlfriend, but inside you, it's like a voice telling you, hey, this one is going to be Wango Wamakeri. Wango Wamakeri, for those who are not from the mountain, Wango Wamakeri was a lady in Kikuyu community that she never used to sit on seats. She was sitting on men. You kneel down and she sat on you. So if you have that voice that this is Wango Wamakeri, please drop. Knock the next door. Keep knocking. God will hear you. Identify problems early. Okay. Number 11, feedback. How do you solve problems? Feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. You know, one time I talked to a gentleman who is a CEO of a big flight company. And we met somewhere. And then I decided to give him some feedback on some information that I had. The guy did not take it lightly. In fact, he became moody. Yet, he's a very senior guy. Then I discovered many of us become moody when you are given feedback. Yet, this feedback, we are told, is a breakfast of champions. You need breakfast to survive. You need feedback to survive. Sometimes feedback is not too easy. It is painful, but you need it. Yeah, you need it. And by the way, I'm talking from practical experience. Today, I had a very painful feedback, and I took it. You know, there was a certain customer of ours whom we sent a title in another continent, and the title was rained on, you know, and she refused to take the title. And she used all the dangerous words you think of, the tough words. And I was only saying, I'm sorry, we apologize, we take full responsibility. I apologize on behalf of my staff. Of course, replacing title takes 6 months. This one took 8 months. So 2 days ago, the title came out. And I sent her the title, very happy. Hey, congratulations, the title is back. You know, we were able to negotiate and we have it. Little did I know that this customer has got a bit beautiful name with a beautiful spelling. Beautiful means challenging spelling. So the registrar also made a mistake, omitted a letter. Hey, man, the message I got today, say Mama Tusi, Optimate, 26 years of experience, useless. What have you been doing? You can't spell my name. Then I said, I apologize on behalf of Kenya government. Then there was a response. I can't take this rubbish. Take full responsibility. Take full responsibility. You are supposed to read my name properly. Then I said, oh, I apologize. I take full responsibility for this mistake. And we are going to rectify as soon as possible. There and then we call the registrar, says, bring the title tomorrow, we shall rectify. But I picked the feedback. I was positive on the feedback. And after all that drama, she sent me a message. And she told me, I think I like your resilience. I like your resilience. Tell me about Vipingo. Tell me about this property. I am seeing you advertising called Vipingo. Towards the end of the feedback, the lady is speaking a property in Vipingo. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? If I had some moods, they say, I'm not the government, I'm not the registrar, you know. So you calm down for a customer, you calm down. Once you calm down, the customer will discover you are not a lion. You are not on a fighting mode. The customer will come back and it will be a very loyal customer. Ask yourself, how many times have you gotten feedback? Have you picked that feedback in a positive way? Are you the person who cannot apologize, or are you a person who can apologize when things goes south? Okay? Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Okay? And I think you have picked something out of that. Number 12, adaptability. How do you solve issues? Adaptability. Ability to be flexible. Ability to adjust. Ability to change things. Ability to be flexible. Okay. Somebody said adaptability is the simple secret of survival. Hiya. Adaptability is a very simple secret of survival. Adaptability is the simple secret of survival. We are in a very tough economic environment, VUCA environment. Are you adaptable? What are you doing to be adaptable? Unafanya nini? What are you doing? Adaptability. Adaptability is the simplest secret of survival. Ability to be flexible. What are you doing? When you can't change the direction of the wind, what happens? Adjust your sails. If you can't change the direction of the wind, go to the sail, adjust it. Because the wind cannot change the direction. The economy today, you may not change it. What do? Change the way you do stuff. If you are drinking tea, you've been putting 4 teaspoons of sugar. Why can't you do 1? Why can't you do 2? If you are used to driving big cars, the fuel gatherers, why can't you scale down? Adaptability. If you are used to be eating your lunch at 5-star hotel, why can't you go down to 3-star hotel? If you are selling properties like in Optimate, cash, why can't you give people installments? Yeah. Are you adaptable? Adaptability is the ability to be flexible. Be flexible. Be flexible. 13, teamwork. Teamwork helps you to solve issues, problems. Teamwork. Great things, I read somewhere in a book that great things in business are never done by one person. Great things in your business, Anastasia Kamau, are never done by you. One person can only do little. Great things in business are never done by one person. Great things in academics are never done by one person. That's why we have study groups in the universities, okay? It involves combined efforts. Yeah, make your team thrive. Teamwork, and teamwork can do exploits. Then finally, for you to sort out issues, you must be good in data analysis. Data analysis. Data is equal to money. Data analysis. What do you do with the data you have? What do you do? Do you see it as data or as resources? That data is a resource. You know, I think it was yesterday. You know, I'm a person who keeps data. My phone, the one I'm using to do this Zoom, I have 90,000 contacts, 90,000 contacts. Some of these contacts, I have done broadcasts. So when we have something interesting, I share with all these. I have about 90 groups, 90 groups. And every groups have hundreds of people. So yesterday, I was sharing something to do with following of our channel, Optiven Real Estate channel. That sharing alone, we got over 200 followers. Can you imagine? Out of those followers, I had 4 people who asked, George, I saw you launch a new project in Kimuka. This one you're calling Kimuka 1B. Is it next to Kimuka 1? I said, yes. Send me a photo and evidence that it borders Kimuka 1, Achievers Paradise Phase 1. Then my guys had done a video, so I shared a video. There and then, I sold 2 properties. Why? Data. Data is equal to dollars. Data is equal to pounds. Data is equal to Kenya shillings. How many of you have dead data? Your own phone. People don't know what you do. Alice Gige, do people know that you are the best trainer in Africa? Do they know? What do you put on your WhatsApp status? What do we see? Annabelle Gishule, what do you do with the data right there that you have on your phone? What do you do? Betty Gasheri, what do you do? Babla, Wamalembe, what do you do? Caroline and Bonfils, what do you do with the data that you have? What do you do? Evans Masharia, what do you do? Evelyn, hiyo data unafanya nini nayo? Mimi nishauza 2 plots za Kimuka 1. 1B, Foster, solar lights, roads, title. Ian Gadi, what do you do with the data you have on your phone? Joyce Kibet, what are you doing with that data? Leonard Dumo, wafanya nini na hiyo data yote? Daktari mwenyewe, Keriako wa Kenya, doctor himself. That data, a lot of data, because you are on media, and I look forward to meeting you very soon, Daktari. What do you do with that data? Mine, yesterday I sold 2 properties, Kimuka. Rosalyn Selem, Madam CEO, what are you doing with that data? Winnie James, wafanya nini? Celestine Janila, tell me, what are you doing with that data? Timothy Mwangi, data is equal to money. William Kibet, are you there? What are you doing? Data analysis. And that's why you find the government is also protecting data. So you need wisdom to use data, okay? Finally, resilience, okay? Ability to recover from loss. How do you sort out issues through resilience? Ability to recover from loss. Most of us, we die after loss. We just die off. We go away, we quit. Yet we are told the way God created you, you are a resilient person. You are able to recover from any loss. You are able to recover. Don't go haywire. Don't go amok. Recover. Ability to bounce back from adversity. Ability to bounce back. I think it was yesterday I was talking to one of my customers who lost a son in Dallas during the floods. And I was trying to encouraging them, to recover, to comfort them for the loss of the son. Not easy. The same case with our businesses. Sometimes we have losses. How are we able to bounce back? Or do we quit and say, hey, enough is enough? When you hit rock bottom, what do? Somebody, one time I was at the rock bottom, someone told me that rock bottom becomes the solid foundation on which you rebuild your life. The rock bottom, when you are down there at the valley, it becomes the solid foundation. The rock bottom becomes the solid foundation on which you rebuild your life. Yeah, you have to rebuild. You can't die. You have to rebuild your life. You have lost big. You know, in Kenya today, people are losing deals. You have lost big, but are you able to bounce back? And then the bonus point, collaboration. Enabling your teams or yourself to work with others, collaboration. The future is about collaboration. And I'm talking about collaboration when we have a big event tomorrow at Global Office. We are doing some collaborations with a big bank, a big developer, and Optiven to turn plots into homes. We are turning all the plots we have sold to our customers into homes. We've been able to negotiate a big deal. Friendly interest rates, 9.5% for all our customers. Those who bought Garden of Joy, Victory Gardens, Vipingo, Nanyuki, Kitale, to transform those plots into homes. We are launching it tomorrow. Why? Through collaboration with the owners of money, with the best builders on earth, and Optiven, the #1 real estate. Collaboration. It enables you, your teams, your organization to work well with others. Collaboration. Collaboration. And for you, you need to think, whom can I collaborate with to become better? Helen Keller once said, alone we can do very little. Together we can do much. Alone we can do very little. Alex, teach. Alone you can do very little. Alex, alone you can do very little. But together we can do so much. That is your take home. And because I can see the time is well spent, I have not finished my presentation, but I can take a minute to go through on how to build trust with your customers and stakeholders. I'll be very quick. I have a minute. One of the things that I've done, and you can do it, just be trusted, be transparent. When things are awful, tell people. When things are good, talk about it. Be a person who can be trusted. Number 2, give customers and stakeholders solutions. People are looking for solutions. Give them solutions. When you started real estate, everybody was doing land. There were about 20,000 companies doing land. As you say, no, we are going to do value-added plots, giving customer solutions. And this has been a game changer. This idea alone, we have over 700 employees, We have done over 120 projects by one idea, value-added plots. Right now, we are graduating, turning plots into homes. Maybe it's going to make us have another 1,000 people working for the vision. Why? Give your customers solutions. Give your customers and stakeholders. People are looking for solutions, not problems. Don't tell them about your problems. Tell them about solutions, how they can do a turnkey project. You come to Kimuka, turnkey. Go to Vipingo, turnkey project. Then definitely be available. Be available to your customers. Even when things are tough. Today, I was available to be abused. I was available to be given painful feedback. I was available. I was engaging. I was available. Be available. Don't run away. Those who have read my book after the pledge, I give you a story how I was thoroughly thrashed by a customer for 3 hours, called all the names, all the animals I was called, all the snakes I was called those names. Why? I was available. Don't quit. Be there. Take that feedback, as I said earlier. Engage your customers. Yeah, engage them on FB Live, YouTube, engage them. Visit them. Invest in your employees. Yeah, invest. These are your first customers. Invest in your employees. Personally, I do mentorship to my teams. Even today, this morning, I had a mentorship session, a whole 1 hour. I invest in my employees. So when you see them in events, behaving like George Washiori, it is a DNA that I have put in them. DNA, how to smile, how to walk, how to be positive, how to confess differently. Creating a movement, and that's your responsibility as a leader. Create a movement. Be there for them. Invest in their lives. Invest in their knowledge, skills. Invest. And then finally, share the core values. Businesses are built by values. Share those values. Let people live by those values. And once you do that, one thing I assure you, we shall meet at the top. You have no choice. We shall meet at the top, because when I look at all of you, you have what it takes, not only to do business in Kenya, not only to do your career in Kenya, but to do careers across Africa, across the world. Let's go out there. The global resources are plenty. Don't constrain yourself with Kenyan economy. Look upward, look at Optiven. We are now in Tanzania. Next week, I'm in Botswana. We are in Europe. We are in the US. We have decided as an organization that the global is our market. The globe is our market. You can also decide the same. The globe is your market. I wish you all the very best. Let's meet at the top. God bless you. Let me take this mic back to our able Vice Chancellor, none other than Honorable Nagilai himself.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Daktari. That was epic. That was fantastic. That was well prepared, and we really appreciate you. We thank God for you, because we are learning and we are becoming better people each and every time we get these sessions. So, and right about now, I just want to appreciate all of you also for joining this evening. We were about 60 of us, and we thank God for that. And without much ado, I'd like to adjourn this session till next month. See you next month. Asante.